Welcome to the Ask Lee segment of my channel, and if you have any questions regarding magic, spirituality, witchcraft, demonology, the occult, whatever it may be, then all you have to do is drop it into the comments of any of the Ask Lee videos and I will add it to the queue. And I do these every Wednesday, so just look out for your questions. Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button. Welcome back. Alright, just a quick announcement, just in case people are not seeing the community posts. I am running a 25% discount on all services on my shop, on my website. So just go to the website, click on the shop, and it's all the services, not the books, but the services themselves. Right. Alright, let's get into questions. If I can get there. Here we go. Please hold. Okay, first one is from Near Night. I know it's Near Night. It's Near Night 3076, but I know who Near Night is. I also have a new question, or a couple. What's your opinion on working with different demons at the same time if it's not for the same goal or purpose? So, for example, you're working with one demon for money and with another one for relationships or something else. I've read that you shouldn't work with too many demons at once, 2 to 3 at most, especially if the goals of these workings have nothing to do with each other. If the goals are conflicting, I do understand that, but what if you just want to work on different areas of your life simultaneously? Should you wait until you reach one goal and then go on to the next? What if you're doing a long time working with one demon? Would it still be possible to work with another one on something else during that time? Okay, so it is usually advised to not work with too many spirits at one time, and the main reason for that is because what we want to try and do is build those relationships with the spirits, and building those relationships takes time and takes dedication. So there's a few ways you can go about this. You can view it. One is to pick a particular spirit, a particular demon, and work with that spirit exclusively for a period of time until the relationship has been built. Once the relationship has been built, then they become part of your friend circle. And then you can contact the next spirit and see if they want to build a relationship with you, and if they do, then you build a relationship with them. But what you're doing is you're devoting time to that relationship building, and you then also devote time to maintaining the relationships that you already have, just as we would do with people in our lives. Now, what you can do regarding all the different areas of your life and working with different demons. One approach that I particularly enjoy is taking the days of the week, and if we look at each day of the week, we have a ruling planet. So Wednesday is Mercury, so we might want to look at communication. We can look at if we write or we have a blog or something like that, then we can focus on those types of areas. On a Friday, it may be, if you're an artist, Fridays are great because it's about creating beauty. But it could also be about focusing on your personal relationships with friends, with family, with loved ones. On Sunday, you could look at specific healing. Healing yourself or healing others, or healing bad habits, or whatever that may be, whatever that looks like. So you have these overruling planets and powers on each day of the week. So what you could do is you could focus on that particular aspect which is significant to that day of the week, and work specifically on that. Obviously, you're going to be working on other things during each day. We have to maintain our lives normally, but the main focus could be on that particular aspect of your life, and through that you can pick a spirit, a demon, that represents that thing for that day, and you can dedicate that day to that demon. And then what you're doing is would then have basically 7 demons that you're working with at one specific period of time, but you're devoting a day to each one individually, and you just keep repeating that over and over again every week. So that's one way of going about it. As I say, the other way is to specifically build a relationship, devote that time and the effort to building a relationship with a spirit, and then building a relationship with another spirit, but also maintaining the relationship you have. But once you've got those relationships, then you can work on different aspects all at the same time. I wouldn't go into a ritual or a working and do something for your business and then something for your love life and something for your family and something for healing, all in the same ritual, all at the same time. When you go into a specific ritual or a specific spell working, you want to keep focus on one thing so that all the energy is directed to that one thing. Then you stop that, you cut it off, you go and ground yourself and have a sandwich and a cup of tea, and then allow that energy to start flowing and start flowing in the right direction, and then go and do the next one. That could mean, I wouldn't even say the next day, maybe 2 or 3 days, or doing that kind of thing once a week. It's a case of experimenting also. Find out if you do a spell working or a ritual for one thing, and then an hour later you do another one. See what the effects are. Remember to keep your journal, keep recording stuff, and make sure that you take down all the data you can possibly think of taking down, so that if something does fail, you can go back and you can see what happened, where the moon phase was, if it was in void of course, what the planets were doing, if you are keyed into that type of stuff. But take down as much data as you can so you can see what happened, why it happened, what things affected it, and in a negative and a positive way, and keep that journal, keep experimenting, and find out what works and what doesn't. And that's really the key to doing all this, is the experimentation. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. This is from Tilla MCE. Hello Lee. Hello. I am curious of your opinion on a Christian, not Catholic but Protestant, who has taken the baptism ritual, and how that affects their potential to either attract or repel spirits outside of the 3-in-1 God, once that conscious decision has been made as a youth adult. I specify that to separate it from infant baptism, the Catholics practice, where the child is committed by his guardians unknown to the child. Thank you for your work and sharing your insights. Okay, so can a baptized or christened, it doesn't need to be in the Baptist section of the Christian faith, it can be the Methodists who christen. But once that has been done to an adult, what is the effect of attracting or repelling the spirit? So what we're looking at here is, referring back to Magick, is once we have found our path, we are starting to walk our path, and we are dedicated to our path, we usually set up protections. And those protections are not just for, trying to protect ourselves from other witches or people attacking us or all of that, oogie boogie stuff, but mostly from astral parasites, because once we start walking on these paths, we kind of light up like a beacon, and the astral parasites are like moths to a flame. They see it, they are attracted to it, and because we are starting to work on magic, our energy is starting to flow in a different manner, and it's starting to move, and therefore, the astral parasites are kind of attracted. So we set up protection, we do protection work for that, and that protection work is usually raising our vibration so that we are out of reach of the lower vibrational entities. So in a Christian aspect, somebody who has been baptized or christened would go through the same thing. They are raising their vibration because they're bringing themselves closer to divinity, but they are lighting up like a Christmas tree, and the astral parasites are going to be attracted to them. I don't think, just because one person is walking a magical path and another person is walking a Christian path, that the astral parasites, these are lower energy beings, they're lower level entities. I don't think they discern between Christian or magic user. It's, energy. We all got energy, we all have energy. So it's the same instance. When you get baptized or christened, you light up like a Christmas tree, and the astral parasites are going to come and attack and feed on your energy. Now, these attacks and feedings are not always severe. In most cases, they are so subtle we don't even notice them. It may just be a shift in mood, which we do normally every day, even if we don't have an astral parasite problem. We go through mood swings, that's normal, that's natural. So quite often we don't notice what's going on, and we naturally cleanse. We get in the shower every day and we wash our physical dirt off, and we also wash our energetic or spiritual dirt off. It can be so subtle that that happens naturally, normally. In more severe cases, we would then consciously go and do that, which in a Christian format may look like prayer, to keep the person at a particular vibrational level, so that those things don't happen or don't get attached to them. Obviously, the difficulty here is that when we talk about the Christian faith is so has become such a norm in our Western society that I'm trying to think of a way to explain this. It's become so normal that for some people there's a dedication to it. For other people, it's just a normal everyday thing. So they'll go through the motions, they'll go and get baptized or christened because that's what they're supposed to do. That's the norm, that's what society tells them they're supposed to do. But they don't actually take it that seriously. So they go through this experience which lights them up like a Christmas tree, and then they get attacked by parasites. But they don't take the practice itself seriously. When we move into something of a magical path, of a spiritual path, which is chosen by us specifically, it's something which we become a lot more dedicated to. We don't just accept it as this is just day-to-day life type of thing. So we do dedicate ourselves to doing things like doing meditation, banishing rituals, and protections, cleansing, and all of these things. We bring those into our practice, into our daily routine, into our daily practice. So there's that conscious effort which happens. When it comes to the Christian aspect, it can be conscious. It depends on the person. If they are dedicated to their religion and to their faith, but a lot of cases it's just people going through the normal motions of society and what they're being told they have to do. So there's a whole different aspect and a whole different arena there. But coming back to astral parasites, it's the same process, in my opinion anyway. So whether you're a magic user or a Christian, you are doing the same thing. You are choosing to walk this path, which is spiritual, and that dedication, that devotion lights you up, and the astral parasites are attracted to that, and you're going to be attacked. So how you deal with that is going to differ, and it differs in the magical communities. How a Wiccan does it compared to a traditional witchcraft or traditional witch is different. How a ceremonial magician versus a chaos magician will do it, completely different. But we all do it in some way or form. So I think it's exactly the same process. It's exactly the same thing happening. I've just got to do that first, and then I've got to do that. Okay, there we go. All right, next question is from Beans3977. I'm new to all of this, so I want to ask, have you ever worked with a succubus? No, I haven't. And I'm finding this to be maybe a troublesome topic. There are a lot of people out there who are saying that the succubus or incubus is a demon lover. Not in my understanding, not what I've come to understand a succubus or incubus over the years. And people are providing services where they will attract or get one of these demon lovers, say calling a succubus or incubus, and bringing them into your life for you to interact with. I'd be very careful of that. Personally, a succubus or an incubus is an astral parasite. It's really as simple as that. So do I work with astral parasites? No. I don't see any purpose to it, any reason, and I don't want to be dragged down to that energetic level. So no, definitely don't work with succubus. That's a simple, easy one anyway. Okay, so then the next one, Fred12311. What is your best book for beginners who want to work Solomonic magic? Okay, if you want to work Solomonic magic, the way it's described in the Goetia and the other grimoires, you are going to absolutely need to have a lot of protection. So what I would recommend if you specifically want to work Solomonic magic, and I don't recommend working Solomonic magic, but if you do want to, I would suggest starting with Jason Miller's Protection and Reversal Magic. Then I would suggest going into Golden Dawn texts, learning things like the LBRP, all of the pentagram rituals and the hexagram rituals. What you're going to need to do, you are going to need to bring yourself into a ritualistic space which is so elevated and so connected with the divine aspect that you create a barrier around you. That's basically what you have to do. You have to create a barrier which is impenetrable. Because when you work in Solomonic magic, you are going to be doing things like trapping, binding, threatening the demons in that format. So the grimoires, the Lesser Key, the Goetia, the Grimorium Verum, all of these are designed to trap, bind, and threaten the spirits, to force them to do what you want them to do. And because of that, you're going to be creating very bad relationships with spirits. You are going to be pissing spirits off, is the very easiest, simplest way of putting it. So if you do not have that proper protection in place, where you have literally created a barrier between you and these spirits, when they are free, they could come and attack, they could retaliate. So make sure you are really protected. So I would definitely go for all of your Golden Dawn stuff, and the banishing, or the pentagram and the hexagram rituals, and all such rituals, and get to know them very, very, very well. If, however, you just want to work with the demons, but not from a Solomonic magic perspective, then what you're going to be doing is creating relationships, and they are good relationships. They are friendly, they are respectful, they are honoring, and when you give respect, you get respect. If you threaten, you get threatened. It's really as simple as that. So it's your decision. You know, if you want to work Solomonic magic as it's described and put forth in the grimoires, then definitely, you know, sort out your protections first. It's going to be an absolute requirement. Okay, I'm going to end today's Ask Lee there. I don't want to do too many because I seem to be running out a bit. I'm just worried I do run out, so I'm going to leave enough for the coming weeks, and yes, that's it for this week then. Okay, have a good one, and I will see you next week. Cheers for now. Bye bye.